This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Dominant. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, July the 7th, is a star player for the Houston Rockets, who's a member of the Hall of Fame, #1 overall pick in a draft, 3-time National Player of the Year. A lot of expectations. He did well for Houston, but injuries would take its toll on him. He didn't play all his career with Houston. He played for Golden State, Sacramento, and Washington as well. He's 64 years old today. He's one of the twin towers of Houston basketball, not Hakeem Olajuwon, the other one, Ralph Sampson. So Ralph Sampson was born in Harrisburg, Virginia, July 7, 1960. He was already 7 foot tall in high school, and he was a legendary high school guy. But he lost the High School Player of the Year award to another talented center, Sam Bowie. Sam Bowie will always be remembered for the guy that Portland valued over Michael Jordan in the 1984 NBA draft. Although it must be said that Portland thought they were good with the guards and all that. Regardless of that, in a basketball thing called the Capital Classic with high schoolers, that Sampson got his revenge on Sam Bowie. Regardless, Sampson was the most heavily recruited college basketball prospect of his generation, and he decided to stay close to home and be part of the University of Virginia. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated 6 times in his NCAA career, which was pretty amazing. Playing center for Virginia, he helped them in his first season with Virginia get them to the NIT title, which of course is for those teams that did not make the NCAA tournament, and that it's a lesser title. But the NIT for a while was more valuable than the NCAA tournament until the 50s. Virginia went to the Final Four in 1981, and in 1983 they took an Elite Eight appearance and all that. Sampson was also center when the University of Virginia shockingly lost during the Christmas break in 1982 to Chaminade, a Division II university in Honolulu. Yeah, you got 3 Naismith Awards for Player of the Year, so he was 3-time Player of the Year. Only Bill Walton did so. Sampson considered leaving Virginia after his junior year and declared for the '82 NBA draft. San Diego, well, by the way, San Diego Clippers, soon to move to Los Angeles, and the LA Lakers would flip a coin to determine who would draft first overall. But the deadline for Sampson to make himself available came before the scheduled coin flip. Sampson didn't want to play for the Clippers, thinking that he didn't want to do all that. The toss was lost, and the Lakers were going to be the #1 pick. So Ralph Sampson could have been the Lakers' #1 pick. But then again, I mean, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all that. But there were rumors circulating that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would have been traded away from the Lakers. They would have went for Ralph Sampson. But because Sampson decided to stay in school, the Lakers didn't need him and took James Worthy instead. Anyway, so he was the #1 pick by the Houston Rockets in 1983. And he was expected to revolutionize the center position with expectations akin to Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell. So as a rookie, he put up 21 points, 11 rebounds per game, got into the All-Star game, and easily won the Rookie of the Year award. Houston would only win 29 games, and they would pick first in the 1984 NBA draft. The Rockets would also pick a center with #1 overall, and that was Hakeem Olajuwon. A lot of people said that the Rockets, it was no way they could do it. I mean, why would you have 2 7-footers drafted back to back? And they thought that it would not be playing well together. And some say the combination would be overpowering. So Sampson decided to play the power forward position to Olajuwon's center stuff and all that. So Sampson moved to forward, while Hakeem means center. The Rockets would improve and put up 48 wins in the 85 season, making the playoffs. He put up 22 points, 10 rebounds, Sampson did, and got to the NBA second team. And it was part of the All-Star game too, winning the MVP award. So anyway, Sampson And the Rockets won 51 games in the 86 season, winning the division. They swept Sacramento, had a tough time with Denver in the conference semifinals, and then shocked the Lakers in the conference finals. They lost game one, but won the next four. But Ralph Sampson himself would have one of the greatest shots in NBA playoff history. In game five, the score tied. Houston did not have Elijah because he was ejected for a fight. So with 1 second left, Sampson took an inbounds pass and decided to do a twisting jumper that bounced twice on the rim and went through the hoop, giving the Rockets the 114-112 win, a series upset, and a trip to the NBA Finals. They would take on Boston, but Boston just easily took them out in 6 games and all that. Sampson actually got ejected in game 5 after he was upset by taunting from Jerry Sixting. He took a swing at Sixting and earned an ejection. But that helped the Rockets win game 5. So anyway, Sampson would sign a major 6-year deal to join the Houston Rockets. Well, he made the team in 87, but he only played 43 games because he would have a major cartilage tear in his left knee when his right foot slipped in a game against Denver. He wore a knee brace but couldn't play on it. Some say that he slipped because of remnants of solvent used to clean up scuffs done on the court by a drill team practicing or showed before the game. Sampson was expected to miss 6 weeks. He had arthroscopic surgery and rushed to his rehab to make it back for the playoffs. Sampson tried as he might failed mightily. Sampson would fall out of favor with Rockets coach Bill Fitch. He was doing pretty well for himself, but then he was traded to Golden State alongside Steve Harris for Joe Barry Carroll, Sleepy Floyd, and Cash. It was weird how Golden State would trade Carroll and Floyd, who were NBA All-Stars in 1987. Of course, Joe Barry Carroll is remembered as the guy Golden State took with number 1 pick in the 1980 draft, picking up from Boston in that trade that Boston used the number 3 pick on Kevin McHale. And Warriors fans hated Joe Barry Carroll because JBC was known for Joe Barely Cares. That's what they said. However, Golden State figured that Sampson would be a key center for a team that was trying to do well. He played 29 games for the Warriors, but his left knee bothered him. He needed fluid to be drained out of it. That made it less strong than his right knee. He tries as he might, he just couldn't do much. All that. He was traded to Sacramento in 1989, having injury problems, only playing 51 games in those 2 seasons. And then he went to Washington, playing 10 games before being waived. And then he went to Spain during the 92 season. And then we played in the Continental Basketball Association, retiring for good. He was actually an assistant for a few years with James Madison. And he was assistant head coach for a little bit of time with the Suns. He was an icon by the University of Virginia. He was named member of the Hall of Fame class of 2012, and he has 4 children with his ex-wife. Their oldest son, Ralph Sampson III, played for Minnesota. Robert would transfer to Georgia Tech after playing for East Carolina. And they have 2 daughters. One works for ESPN, named Rachel. He has 4 children, other children by 4 women. And he was upset that he rushed his knee surgeries and all that. So anyway, he was a legend, 3-time collegiate basketball player of the year. He went to Houston for 5 good years before being traded away because of his knee issues to Golden State, Sacramento, then Washington. So he played 456 games, 15.4 points per game, 8.8 rebounds per game, only 4 times in the playoffs. 3 with Houston, including that 1986 finals appearance, and once with Golden State in 1989. Yeah, he was a legend in Virginia, at the University of Virginia. So you gotta believe that Ralph Sampson did a lot of work. And heck, Houston will love him for that game-winning shot to send the Rockets to the 86 NBA Finals. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Do.